and welcome to video 17. And yeah, so we're gonna shoot this part anyway in a little HD from my little tiny Nikon camera. And so I better get on with it because I have less than 7 minutes to go now. So here is yeah, Runaround by Blues Traveler. I know you've probably heard it a million times, but hey, one more time can't be too bad. Hopefully I will I don't know, whatever. Here it is. Something in my head, I couldn't escape the memory and the bomb gun what you said. Like a pig choking destined with a biting gift. I could not believe my eyes when I saw through the voice of a trusted friend who needs to and tell me lies. Yeah, humor me and tell me lies, and I'll lie to and say I don't mind. As we seek, so shall we find. And when you're feeling open, I'll still be here, but not without a certain degree of fear of what will be. You and me, I still can see things hopefully, 'cause you, why you wanna give me run around? Yeah, there's a surefire way to speed things up when all it does is slow me down. But a great many things, but I've been there and see it cower like a nervous Tristan waiting in the wings of a bad play where the hero's right. Nobody thinks or expects too much. Hollywood's coming for the movie rights, singing, hey babe, let's keep in touch. Hey baby, let's keep in touch. But I want you to touch and I want you to reach me and show me all the things no one else can see. So what you feel becomes mine as well, and sooner or lucky we'll be unable to tell what's yours and mine. A fishing's fine, it doesn't have to rhyme, so don't you feed me a line, 'cause you, why you wanna give me run around? It's a surefire way to speed things up when all it does is slow me down. Got some news for you. It seems my ship still stands, and no matter what you drop, there ain't a whole lot that you can do. Oh, sure, the banner may be torn and the winds got colder. Perhaps you've grown a little cynical, but I know what the waitress brings. I shall drink it and always be full. Yeah, we'll drink it and always be full. Oh, and I like coffee and I like tea. That's so good to be able to spot a plea. I still got this dream that you just can't shake. I love you to the point you can no longer take. Well, right, okay, so be that way. So maybe it's a little something left to say, 'cause why you wanna give me round and around? Yeah, there's a surefire way to speed things up when nothing does is slow me down. 'Cause why you wanna give me round and around? Yeah, there's a surefire way to speed things up when all it does is slow me down. Get a little closer. Okay, so welcome back to the topic. As you can see, it is about addiction. My disclaimer is that I am not a counselor or a psychologist or anything like that. I don't have a little fancy piece of paper on my wall. Well, I do have one, but that's for Reiki, so that's for something different. But and again, this is just my ideas, like how I see things. As you guys know, anybody who's watched my videos before, I just have my certain perspective on things, and if it makes sense, cool, go with it, take whatever you want, leave the rest. So getting on into it, before I get into the addiction aspect of it, I'm going to go into my issues with the medical community. As you, if you haven't watched before, that's good. I'll give you a little primer. Some of you already know. Okay, we are just we're working with the medical field and stuff. We're still using Newtonian physics or mechanics, which is ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Quantum physics has been around from like the late 50s, I believe, or 60s, might be 60s. Definitions. Okay, Newtonian physics is basically from Newton, I believe, who, and all the scientists from back then say, hey, the universe and everything in the universe is like a machine. It all has various parts and pieces, and everything works like a clock, sort of, in a way. And if something breaks, we just take the piece out, put a new piece in, good to go. Humans, kind of the same thing, we place parts or take parts out, place them, or if things aren't necessary, we take them out, and or we use drugs or medication to fix whatever ails us. Now, with quantum physics or mechanics, there's a lot to it. Yeah, string theory, superstring theory, and all sorts of other crazy things. But basically, the basic premise is that no, the universe is not a machine. It is not clockwork. It has its own rhythm, and basically everything is based down to the lowest bit, which is energy. Everything is energy. So you have to understand the energy in order to understand the universe. And again, all different sorts of theories, all different sorts of things. We have the field. Now, in my opinion, the field, which is what they refer to it as, is also the same thing as, universal energy, which is from Reiki, the Force from Star Wars, or the Holy Spirit, or all these things that refer to this invisible energy field, whether it's guided by God, the goddess, or just a scientific thing. It's all kind of the same thing. It's energy. So, having said that, it blows my mind that we're still teaching Newtonians in physics and sciences in school. Ugh. Society is messed up. Let's face it. But for those, there's so many reasons, and one of those reasons is, someday the schools will catch up, maybe 50 years, 60 years later, catch up to what has already been discovered 50 to 60 years later. Anyway, not a big deal. So with with Newtonian, the Newtonian aspect, I will call it, when it comes to medicine, is obviously you have symptoms, and so we externally try to fix these external symptoms, again through pills. When it comes to addiction, there's pills and rehab and counseling and inpatient, outpatient, all that kind of stuff. Which some of it isn't bad, and I do agree with counseling and that kind of thing, because that starts to get towards the inside. So, counseling is a really, really good thing, don't get me wrong. Again, even with our approach today, there are good things. It's not that it's all bad, it's just we're missing pieces, vital pieces, to really help people. Especially with drugs and alcohol, to recover from addictions. I'm going to go into my personal story at some point, and all that. And I'm an alcoholic, so I got first-hand experience. But we'll get into that towards the end if you want to hear the story. So, in order to really overcome addiction, to really overcome it, we have to go inside. Again, we have this infinite universe within us. And, from the time we're born to, and as we get older, this universe, we don't see it, we're not told about it, we're not shown anything. And, we're told to, forgive and forget. And so, as we go through all these things through our personal experiences, and we have all these problems, all this weight is just weighing us down. And maybe when you're, a teenager, you start drinking and doing drugs, and because even by then, even by young ages now, even younger, we need an escape. Addiction is escape, and I am mainly focusing on drugs and alcohol, but it doesn't matter. It's anything. Even exercise. Exercise yourself to death. Why? Because it's an escape. Playing video games. Why? Because it's an escape. I don't have to deal with reality. I don't have to deal with my problems, the inside that might be going on. Subconsciously, it's like, a hamster just going, oh my God, I got all this stuff. And so, with the conscious mind, we keep ourselves preoccupied, so we don't have to deal with it. you know, shopping, I mean, you name it, gambling, you know, and I'm sorry, but no addiction is good. You want to be able to let go of all this inner stuff, let go, just forgive the situation, the people, and especially yourself. We don't forgive ourselves as much as we need to. I, even to this day, as I am still in my awakening process and going through all this, I beat the crap out of myself still sometimes, and it's silly, you know, but, you know, again, it's a part of the process, and it's part of the awakening. I've only been at this for like, going into 6 years now, I don't remember, but still, you know, it's, you know, but if we don't do this, we can't be happy, you know, and with drugs and alcohol, that was kind of the point, you know, you remember, you go out with your friends and, you know, whatever, weekends, and, you know, after a long, hard week at work or whatever, and just, whew, yeah, man, I feel so much better. You know, week's done, I drink, I feel even better. And so, you know, and then, you know, for those people who actually do become addicted to this, it is because, you know, it becomes a cycle, and it becomes a process, and it becomes a way to, you know, not deal with that weight that you're carrying. And so, because we all want to be happy, right? We all just want to be really happy, truly. And let's face it, out there, it's freaking nuts. And it's crazy, and it's asinine, and again, yes, I'm human, but yeah, I don't know, whatever. Because I look out there and go, what the is wrong with things? Nothing makes sense. And I'm not even talking about logically making sense. Nothing here at all makes sense. You know, we all are closed off, we hide inside. Out there, you know, is constantly finding ways to separate. You know, if you look, there's between race, religion, creed, politics, sports, everything. It's a division. We're dividing ourselves, and that even adds to the weight we carry. So we're carrying all this weight, and we need an escape. So I'm turning to drugs and alcohol, like I said. So, in order, you know, I was just thinking, you know, I kind of came up with an idea, like, you know, think of it like you're an air balloon, right? And you got all this weight, and the weight keeps coming on, and it keeps coming on, and you're carrying more and more and more and more. And so, as the balloon, you're the balloon, and you're starting to ground, right? And so, like, in a way, the drug is like the fire, or the alcohol, or whatever the addiction is, gameplay, whatever, right? So, more and more fire. But eventually, you're not moving up, and you're still kind of slowly going down, you know? Because, especially with drugs and alcohol, you start to need more and more and more to try and get that desired effect that you had years ago, or a few years ago, or a few days ago. It just depends, because everybody's different. So we have to learn to, like, you know, toss the sandbags and let the sandbags off of that air balloon so that it rises. So and again, you know, the rising, you know, again, the air balloon and it rising and lowering is the emotional states. So in order to be happy, you gotta let that baggage go. And once you have no baggage, or very, very little baggage, you know, the normal fire within yourself is enough to get you where you need to go. You know, I guess, you know, so I'm an alcoholic, and I've been good for like the past 2.5 months. But this is through my own experiences. This is what I've kind of figured out, is that if I'm progressing on my path, and I'm in that higher state, and I'm letting that baggage from my past go, then I'm happy enough where I don't think about alcohol at all. I really don't, because I'm happy. I don't need it. I don't want it, because I'm happy, because I've let that weight go. And I'm still, you know, as I've mentioned in past videos, I mean, I'm still working through, I'm like, why am I not waking up and just being, hey, and I'm happy, and You know, and I know why. I don't feel like I'm really on my path. I mean, I'm on a path, but I don't feel like I'm on the higher path, you know. I struggle like everybody else, and I just, whatever, I can't figure out, like, what, you know, what should I be doing, you know. It is my belief that we all are here to help or guide each other. And that's where that true happiness comes inside too. Because we're taking our talents and we're using what we have to help people. When I do readings, which is now seems like once every month or two, when I do those readings, I feel great because I'm doing something I love. I like to do readings. I mean, they can be very draining, but anyway, so I went off on the tangent over there, so now we get back over here. So I still run into, I have these little pockets where if my depression starts getting too low, that's when I start thinking about drinking. And I'll think about it, oh, I'll just have one. And unfortunately, because I'm alcoholic, beer or wine or whatever, I usually drink beer, it's kind of like a Lay's potato chip. I just can't have one. So, you know, I have to drink a 6-pack to get that desired effect to where I was before I started declining. So I have to find ways, you know, I need people to talk to. You know, I don't have a lot of friends and stuff. And people, you know, I've got one person, and she's like the most beautiful, awesome person in the world, and I've talked about her here and there, and you know who that is. Hi, babe. But she is the one that, you know, that helps guide me, keep me on my path. So I need to open up to her now. If I start feeling like, I got that itch. Now, the only other issue that I've run across recently is I have a friend who's an alcoholic, and we talk a little bit here and there. And when he called me, it was probably like a month ago, and then I didn't answer the phone, but I called him back. As soon as I called him back, and it was funny because my son was sitting right next to me, and he said hello, and he was wasted. And I immediately had that urge to drink. And so this is kind of the empath portion. So I had to fight it. It was pretty tough to fight. And what I was realizing is that, you know, as an empath, I was fighting that energy, and then fighting it and feeling that drunkenness or that altered state, and fighting it made me really want to drink. So somehow I managed to relax, and I just let the energy flow through me, and then the urge was gone. And I did actually, it was weird because I was totally sober, but I kind of felt a little bit lighter. I can't even begin to explain it to you. And there's been about 3 or 4 other times where I've been around people who are drinking, and you know, that I don't fight it. Not fighting that flow, I don't want it. And 2, you know, I always think, well, you know, last thing I want to do is wake up feeling like a pile of crap, you know, which is usually what happens. I feel like a pile of crap now, even not drinking, because I don't sleep well. So, but anyway, see, make sure I'm on. And 2, for me, with my baggage, I should have looked down here sooner. A lot of it is like residue. Like what happens is I pick up energy all day long, depending on where I am, and I get rid of most of it. But it seems like there's this residue that kind of pulls me down. So I need to, you know, smudge myself, and I got to do all these things to make sure that I don't get yanked down. Because I don't want, you know, like I said, I realize that, hey man, I'm happy. I'm in a good space. Why do I want to ruin it by drinking and then, you know, feel like crap the next day? And then sometimes you drink and it doesn't even work. You become more depressed or whatever, and it's not worth it, you know? And I can't speak for all drugs and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I've I've experimented with different drugs in my youth and stuff, but we don't need to get into that now. So I mean, that's really my perspective, is that you fix the inside, you get yourself happy and not being addicted. And yeah, some of us, we have addictive personalities. I do. You know, I'm a smoker. I still smoke. Hopefully I can quit that. So I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I'm still holding on to, or what am I not releasing, so that I can get to a point where I quit. I mean, I quit once for 4 years, and I went back to it once my life kind of went to crap. But anyway, you know, so yeah, so you know, we have to, you know, we've got to throw that weight out of that air balloon. We can, you know, have the fire at normal. We don't have to crank it using drugs or alcohol and keep filling that basket with stuff, and it's kind of, you know, balloon doing that. So we get rid of the weight, and we work on getting rid of the weight. We get rid of it and toss it. I don't think I had him too. Oh, see, look, sorry, yeah, I already talked about that. And yep, and yeah. So yeah, and so we get rid of that weight, and we're happier. It is the happier we get on the inside, and we feel free. You know, feeling free of all that stuff that we carry around, and hopefully, in most cases, and most people, that urge goes away. We don't want it because we're already happy. And there's been times where I was in a good space and I had one beer. And like I said, normally I can't just have one. And I felt myself coming down. And I didn't have any more. I'm like, well, I don't want to ruin it. You know, that happened, I think, 2 times. So I just want to throw that in there. So again, once you get into that space, the urge and need isn't there. For me, I was around some friends, family actually, and I have alcoholics on both sides of my family. So, but anyway, so I just was having one, you know, kind of, hey, you know, thinking, oh yeah, I can have one, and I had one, and it was like, no, I don't want it. So to me, that's truly a way to get over addiction. And I mean, again, we're all different. But this is just, to me, this is just one idea of how to do it. And I'm sure there's others. So I hope this has been informative. And I don't know, I think that's about all I have to say for tonight. Or for those of you watching today, morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope all is well in your worlds, and so I will say namaste and peace. Thank you for watching.